I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. How about that government shutdown? Republicans, they're not even trying to make it sound responsible. They're not talking about the deficit. They're not talking about spending. They're just pointing fingers at Democrats and shouting about illegals and transgender spending overseas. That's their message. Not truth, not policy, just blame and outrage. Meanwhile, Democrats are fighting to stop Americans from paying $1,000 more for health insurance next year. And in some places, $1,000 a month. That's the real fight. One side trying to help people get by, the other side trying to make people hurt. They're shutting down the parts of the government that help people. The parts that hurt people, well, they keep right on running. ICE still has a $30 billion budget, courtesy of the Trump tax. They've got helicopters and rappelling gear so they can drop into apartment buildings in the middle of the night, zip-tie toddlers, and drag half-dressed citizens outside to sit in the cold. They're buying tear gas and rubber bullets to fire from rooftops at peaceful protesters. Not because they need to, but because they can. That's a lot of money so some sicko can get his jollies off. And they're still offering $50,000 signing bonuses to hire the worst among us. People who see unconstitutional as a challenge, not a limit. And they've already spent over $6 million on advertising to lure police officers away from your community, making your community less safe. Well, unless you consider that if they're the kind of scumbag that work for ICE, you probably don't want them on your police force anyway. Republicans say they're shutting the government down because Democrats want to fund health care for illegal immigrants. They say they're stopping money from going to transgender programs overseas. That's their excuse, but none of it's true. Undocumented immigrants are already barred by law from receiving Medicare, Medicaid, or ACA subsidies. And there's no line item in the federal budget that sends money overseas for transgender care. But that's their argument. Not because there's any truth to it, but because it's the one that helps keep us divided. And while they're playing politics, real people are paying the price. Elderly and disabled Americans who rely on programs like LEAP and public housing, they're walking into Social Security offices this week to get their monthly proof of income, the documents required by state and local agencies to keep their benefits running. But when they get there, they're told that the office can't print it because of the shutdown. These are people who don't have computers, who don't have internet access, being told to go online and print it themselves. Like every shutdown, both sides are pointing fingers. But this time, the picture couldn't be clearer. Republicans wanted this shutdown. They're the ones refusing to talk. They're the ones refusing to show up, refusing to do the job that they were elected to do. And they're enjoying it because they see people hurting and they call it winning. When this is all over, I reckon they're going to lean back on their pillow and have a cigarette. Democrats are the ones still fighting to protect America's health care, to stop families from seeing a $1,000 spike in their insurance costs, to keep seniors and the disabled from being abandoned. You know, I reckon if standing up for that means getting blamed for the shutdown, I'm good with it. Call it a Democratic shutdown. If I were in Congress, I'd wear that like a badge of honor. Thanks for listening. Good day.